Pop star Taylor Swift is $1 richer tonight following a federal trial in Denver that for her was never about the money. Denver 7's Jacqueline Allen on the broader implications.
A Florida poet is actively suing Taylor Swift and trying to stop the release of the End of an Era docuseries.
She said this wasn't about money, it was about making a stand for people who've been sexually assaulted. So they gave her the win.
And what's in a name? For a Utah theme park, it's $2 million. That's how much they want out of Taylor Swift, claiming trademark infringement.
Taylor Swift has faced her fair share of legal drama over the years, from DJs and poets to theme parks trying to claim her fame. Today, we're breaking down 6 wild lawsuits she survived and how she shook them all off, even as the latest Disney Plus docuseries brings a new twist to the saga. David Mueller. The David Mueller saga. Basically, the moment Taylor Swift made it crystal clear, don't mess with a pop queen or you're gonna get served, literally. Let's rewind to 2013, when Taylor was on her Red Tour, rocking sequins, heartbreak anthems, and probably enough glitter to blind half of Denver. Enter David Mueller, a radio DJ who apparently thought getting close to Taylor at a meet and greet was a good idea. Spoiler alert, it was not. Fast forward to 2015, and Mueller decided to flip the script, suing Taylor for defamation because, according to him, she got him fired from KYGO radio for accusing him of, wait for it, groping her. Yeah, bold move. Taylor, of course, didn't just sit back sipping chamomile tea. She fired back with a countersuit saying, buddy, this did happen, and you're about to find out the hard way. Courtroom drama ensued. Imagine the tension. Taylor in her signature chic dresses, Mueller probably sweating bullets in a blazer that didn't help the situation, lawyers flinging legal jargon like confetti. The jury had to decide. Was Taylor telling the truth, or was this just an overzealous DJ with a questionable sense of personal space? Spoiler alert, Taylor's honesty and prep for courtroom justice paid off. The judge threw out Mueller's lawsuit in 2017, basically giving him a legal timeout. Then came the cherry on top. The jury sided with Taylor, awarding her, drumroll, a symbolic $1. Yep, $1. Not because her legal team miscounted, but because Taylor didn't want cash. She wanted justice and to make a statement. $1 says, don't touch me. The case became a cultural moment, a mix of hashtag justice for Taylor and don't mess with a woman who knows her worth. And honestly, it's classic Taylor. She turned a nightmare scenario into a headline-making power move, proving that even in court, she slays. And Mueller? Let's just say he probably regrets thinking a DJ mic gave him superpowers.
She said this wasn't about money, it was about making a stand for people who've been sexually assaulted. So they gave her the win, they didn't award any money or a dollar, and they gave her that principled stand.
Jesse Braham, a.k.a. Jesse Graham. Next, the Jesse Braham drama, a.k.a. the time someone tried to convince the world Taylor Swift stole their lyrics, and the internet collectively went, sure, buddy. It's 2015. Taylor's shaking it off, strutting through life with catchy hooks and confetti vibes when U.S. R&B singer Jesse Braham rolls in, claiming he wrote the phrases haters gone hate and players gone play in his 2013 song Haters Gone Hate. And guess what? He wanted $42 million. Yes, million, with a capital M, because apparently you can just cash in on a pop superstar's infectious chorus. Not only was Braham aiming for a fortune, but he also wanted his name slapped on Shake It Off as a co-writer. Sorry, Jesse, but that's not how Swifties roll. Taylor's team wasn't having it, and the case moved forward, at least for a few weeks. But then reality and legal sense struck. U.S. District Court Judge Gail Standish came in like a judge and jury meme hybrid, basically saying, bro, your case is weak sauce. Judge Standish didn't just dismiss it. She sprinkled a little Swift magic into her ruling. Yep, she dropped references to Taylor's own lyrics from hits like We Are Never Ever Gonna Get Back Together, Blank Space, and, of course, Shake It Off. The judge essentially told Braham, you can't just claim vague similarities and expect $42 million in your lap. Right now you're out of luck, but hey, maybe never ever ever come back unless you can actually fix your problems. In short, Taylor walked out unscathed, confetti and Grammy dreams intact, while Braham's big musical claim fizzled faster than a Snapchat story. The case became a classic reminder of two things. One, don't mess with Taylor's lyrics unless you want to be publicly schooled. And two, $42 million is a lot of ambition, but it ain't always smart. Sean Hall and Nathan Butler. The sequel nobody asked for, but the world got anyway. 2017, Taylor Swift is still living her pop renaissance, Shake It Off blasting from every speaker, and suddenly, bam! Two songwriters, Sean Hall and Nathan Butler, come waltzing into court claiming Taylor borrowed lyrics from their 2000 track, Play Is Gone Play, performed by the girl group 3LW. Cue dramatic gasp and Twitter trending. Taylor's reaction? Classic Swift. Excuse me, what now? She denied ever hearing the song before the lawsuit, pointing out that her lyrics came from stuff everyone says in everyday life. Common phrases, little quips, life experiences. Basically, Taylor was like, I don't need a permission slip to talk like a human being. The lawsuit? It dragged on. And I mean dragged on. 5 years of lawyers, legal briefs, and probably some very tense Zoom calls with pop culture fans clutching their pearls. It wasn't exactly a Swiftie-friendly binge watch, but hey, justice in slow motion has its own drama. Then, in true last-minute thriller fashion, the case wrapped up in 2022, just weeks before trial. The details of the settlement? Shrouded in mystery. We know the writing credits on Shake It Off didn't change, so Taylor's name stayed front and center like the superstar it is. The public didn't get a dollar amount, a handwritten apology, or even a celebratory gif from the songwriters, but the main takeaway? Swift walked away with her artistic freedom and her reputation intact. Evermore Park. When you're Taylor Swift, even theme parks get in on the drama. December 2020, Taylor drops her 9th studio album Evermore, full of wistful lyrics, indie folk vibes, and heartbreak energy that makes your Spotify playlist cry. A month later, a Utah theme park named Evermore Park pops up like, hold up, that's our name. Cue the trademark tantrum.
The park is called Evermore, which shares a name with Swift's latest album. The fantasy theme park says the shared name has drowned out their online presence. They also claim Swift stole their look for merchandise. And what's in a name? For a Utah theme park, it's $2 million. That's how much they want out of Taylor Swift, claiming trademark infringement.
In February 2021, the park sued Taylor for trademark infringement. Yes, a theme park suing a global pop icon. You can almost hear the park's legal team huddling around a cotton candy machine, plotting, if we can stop her album, maybe we can sell more churros. Their argument? That Taylor's album and merch somehow violated their pre-existing trademark. Bold strategy, Utah. But Taylor being Taylor didn't just sip tea in the corner. Nope, she countersued 3 weeks later, claiming that Evermore Park had been playing her music on their grounds without a proper license. Mic drop. Suddenly, the little theme park had their own lyrics boomeranging back at them. It was like a Disney villain origin story, but instead of a castle, it's a legal office. The drama didn't drag out for long, thankfully. By March 2021, both lawsuits were dropped, no money exchanged, and nobody left in a courtroom crying over spilled popcorn. It was a mutual, okay fine, let's just chill. Swift kept her album, the park kept its rides, and the world collectively shrugged while adding Taylor Swift sued my theme park to the list of wild headlines. Honestly, this one is peak Taylor versus the universe energy. The takeaway? If you name your park after a word in the English language, don't expect Taylor to just roll over. And for Taylor, another win. No dollars, no stress, just her music, her merch, and another ha-ha not today moment in the saga of lawsuits she survived. Teresa La Dart. Apparently you can't drop a poetic album and a coffee table book without someone from Mississippi thinking you're trying to copy their decade-old poetry vibes. In 2022, La Dart filed a copyright lawsuit against Taylor Swift, claiming that the Lover companion book ripped off a number of creative elements from her 2010 self-published poetry book, also called Lover. Coincidence? Maybe. Lawsuit material? Debatable. Taylor's legal team wasn't having it. Her lawyer, Doug Baldridge, basically came out swinging, calling the whole case legally and factually baseless and saying it never should have been filed. Translation? Nice try, but this ain't it, Chief. You can practically hear the eye roll echoing through the court corridors. Meanwhile, poor Teresa La Dart had invested in legal action that quickly started to feel like a game of poetic Jenga. The longer it dragged on, the more expensive it got, and the more likely it was that Swift's team would gracefully but ruthlessly dismantle her claims. By July 2023, La Dart's lawyer filed a motion to voluntarily dismiss the case permanently. Boom, case closed. No millions, no courtroom drama, just a quiet retreat from the legal battlefield. Billboard later reported that dropping the case was probably a smart move financially. Legal bills could have easily climbed into the tens of thousands if La Dart had lost, which, let's be honest, seemed likely given Taylor's track record in court. Sometimes walking away isn't losing, it's just good math. Kimberly Marasco. This one's got it all. Poetry, multiple albums, and a dash of Disney Plus drama. According to Newsweek, Marasco is suing Taylor, Universal Music Group, and Republic Records, claiming that Swift ripped off her poetry for lyrics spanning Lover, folklore, midnights, and even something called the Tortured Poets Department. Honestly, if that title doesn't scream literary angst, I don't know what does. But here's the kicker. This isn't Marasco's first rodeo. She previously filed a case against Taylor Swift Productions that got dismissed with prejudice in September. Basically, the court said, nope, not happening, case closed, don't come back. Yet, undeterred, Marasco came charging back like a poetic Energizer bunny. In November, she filed a motion for a preliminary injunction aiming to block the release of Taylor's upcoming docuseries, The End of an Era, set to hit Disney Plus on December 12th. Yep, she basically tried to hit pause on one of the most anticipated pop culture events of the year.
A Florida poet is actively suing Taylor Swift and trying to stop the release of the End of an Era docuseries. Let's get into this. The woman's name is Kimberly Marasco, and she claims that Taylor Swift stole her lyrics from her poems and used them in her songs.
Taylor, meanwhile, is probably somewhere sipping tea, like, cute try, but my confetti schedule is full. Swift's attorneys didn't hold back either. They fired back, calling Marasco's claims utterly frivolous and basically letting the world know that some things, like Taylor's music and her docuseries, aren't up for negotiation. At this point, it almost feels like a Swift legal tradition. Someone claims she stole a line, a melody, or a haiku, and Taylor's team elegantly shuts it down while she moves on to break more records. The case is still unfolding, but the headlines alone are pure entertainment. From albums to Disney Plus screens, it's a reminder that when you're Taylor Swift, even lawsuits come with plot twists, fan reactions, and probably a Spotify playlist of dramatic courtroom music. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.